So there's these African immigrant podcasters that started to speak on Black Americans. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. Why, brothers? Why? Let's go ahead on and play this video. I want y'all to hear exactly what they're going to say, because we're going to address this today, and y'all going to be left shaking y'all head with this. Let's check this out.
Do you know people who make it so difficult for foreigners when it comes to English? Black Americans.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, I feel like white people, they have that understanding.
They understand. They actually want you. They want to learn. Yeah,
bro. Your language. White people, folks are open to learn, but they have egos.
They have egos.
They always they have this enslaving of each other mentality.
Yeah.
When I first came to America, they have, even now my accent not that good, but they can hear me, right?
Yeah.
If I'm talking to the black, they don't really pay
attention to.
They just send me, but the white people want to let me. They will still air out to the other,
bro.
If you know every individual that come to America, maybe certain percent might have experienced it. Talk to white people black people when you don't have accent. They don't want to listen to you at all.
Yes, they don't have the passion.
They don't want to have that
patience
conversation. But white people will take time.
Yes.
They don't care if you're taking time for them to hear what you want to say. So from there now, who is racism who?
So because they think they are better.
So in their mentality, it's like, okay, you are a foreigner, you came here to look for a life, that means you didn't have a life back home. I'm like, listen,
exactly.
The life that we have
black, mentally black,
no, Black Americans. Let's be specific. Me, I like to be very specific. You know what I mean? So for me, I think Black Americans
enslaving the Africans.
Mentally, they do slave us because they think they're better than us.
Well, brothers and sisters, I didn't know that as a collective of people, which they're speaking very ignorantly, saying Black Americans. Listen, gentlemen, when you say Black Americans, that means you're speaking on all of us, not maybe some experience you had with a Black American or a few Black Americans. But when you say Black Americans, you're speaking on all of us, including me. Now, since you spoke on all of us and that puts me in the category, sir, I've never did that with nobody. No person who is African that came here that have an accent, I just start going in on them because they have an accent. I surely don't think I'm better than anybody, no matter who they are. I am not better than nobody. I am flesh and blood like everybody else, and I'm trying to stay humble as possible so I can make sure I'll do the right thing before the Lord. So that lets you know that y'all ignorant, first and foremost. Number two, in relation to Black Americans, when we see you as another person from the diaspora, we don't look at you as no exotic or anything like that, right? We see you, we hear your accent. The first thing we look and say, oh, we say, well, man, hear your accent. Where you from, bro? Like that. That's the first thing we ask. Where you from? And if you tell us, well, I'm from Liberia. Oh, for real? Man, I remember that song, Liberian Girl, with Michael Jackson. Oh, okay. So, man, tell me about Liberia, you know, and then we want to find out a little bit and say, okay, well, what got you come over here to America? You know, like we just ask questions just like that. That's what we do. No different if when I've been places, even in the United States, for instance, I go to California, New York, wherever. They hear me talk. You're like, well, man, where you from? I know you're not from New York. I hear the accent. Other than they say, I'm from Texas. I thought that's where you were from. He said, I heard certain words you were saying. That's what people do. It's no harm. There's no foul in that. Now, you mentioned, when the white people, they want to learn. They want to this. Okay, let's get into talking about the white people. The reason why you have to flee from your homeland is because of the white people. Now, you may say, well, some of them may come by here. What do you mean us? Well, their governments, right, put all kind of sanctions on your country. They want your leaders corrupt. They put money in their back pocket so they can just keep doing you wrong. They want access to all your resources. Y'all come from countries where you have trillions. Listen to what I'm telling you, not billions, trillions of dollars worth of resources underneath your feet, literally. All you gotta do is go in the mine and get the gold, get the diamonds, you got uranium. Uranium is what they use to make nuclear weapons. Y'all got it literally in the freaking ground. Trillions and trillions of dollars. There should be no load shedding in the African continent with your uranium in the ground where you can make nuclear power plants to power up the whole African continent. Y'all sit here and let these people keep y'all poor, and to the point that you got to flee over here. And then when you flee over here, oh, the white people treat us. That's the diabolical game they play. They mess you up and then blame you for your own problem. Say, well, y'all the reason why the African continent look like that. No, it's their fault. Because they corrupt your leaders. They stealing your resources for pennies on a dollar. Same thing they did us. Right? That's why a lot of black Americans look at a lot of y'all on top of that as stupid. I'm sorry, you're stupid. Because these people burned down our whole town, stole our land, steal inventions, steal everything from us, then complain and say, well, why black people are in the economic condition that they in? Why they commit crimes? When we do the research, the majority of the crime in our community is based off of a lack of jobs and not having money. It is proven that literally when black people get to the middle class and up, our crime is literally non-existent. That is a fact in the black community. So if every black person was at least middle class, there will be no crime in our community. No violent crime. Now, you may still have some domestic violent things or whatever. You still gonna have your scammers here and there, but not at the level it would be. And even crime in our community is still trickling down. You understand? So these people got your homeland messed up, because sure it wasn't the black Americans going over there. Every time I see black Americans in the African continent, just so you know, they show nothing but respect. They respect your culture. We try to learn the words y'all saying. We try to learn the language as much as possible. We all try. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are dressed like y'all or whatever. Happy to be there. We're not going over there to colonize your jobs. We're not trying to take over your jobs. We're not doing that. Every black American I've ever seen in the African continent, they created a business and they end up hiring the locals. So we don't even go to your homeland taking nothing from you. We're not competing with you for jobs when we choose to live over there. We never do that. We show a lot of love when we go to the African continent. Every time I see a black American, they show nothing but love. Okay? Period. Now, let me get to another part I want to get to about this conversation. You say, why do they keep talking about us so much? Let me tell you why. And I know it gets on their nerves at the same time, so hear me out. My mom told me something a long time ago. I'll never forget it. My mom said it was about the issue I was having at one point in time. And my mom said, listen, let me tell you about some people. Even though you arguing with them, going off on them or whatever, you're still giving them attention. And you think that, well, you telling them off, you doing whatever, but no, you're giving them energy, you're giving them attention that they solely really want from you. And my mom said some people, you just got to starve them for that kind of attention. Let them talk, let them do whatever they want to do. Now, why am I bringing that up? A lot of them have figured out on these podcasts, nobody really want to hear what they're talking about. If they just keep it to their culture and their issues, nobody want to hear about it. So if they talk about, well, black Americans this, black Americans that, all of a sudden, guess what happens? Then more people start listening and black Americans go and listen. And then black Americans start, say, hey, man, what you talking about us for? And then at that point, now that's engagement on their platform. And then engagement turns into ad revenue. So they're like, so if I just talk about black Americans and piss them off all the time, man, that'd be good for my podcast. Well, shoot, man, black Americans, they treat us bad, and they are the worst over here to us. Oh, black Americans said that. Why black Americans do this? Black Americans don't have no culture. Black Americans think they the only black person in the world. Black Americans, black Americans, black Americans. And then that's how they run, and they're trying to run their numbers up off of talking about us. Now, at the same time, they may enjoy the ad revenue they're getting, but here's the other thing. Think about it. You have to talk about another group of people who's not even your culture to get your ad revenue up. That internally says to you, man, that's kind of messed up that the only reason people paying attention to me is I'm talking about black Americans. I can't talk about my culture, my country. I can't just keep it on issues about me. For example, they could be speaking their language. Why are they speaking even English? Why? There's no reason to speak English. They know their languages. right? So since you know your language, you really can reach out to your community way more. Because remember, we don't have an African language, right? And yet they're speaking in English because they're trying to reach people who are not in their particular community. Because if you're really about it, you'll speak your language. And that way, Black Americans not really in that at all. See, but even if it was to talk about Black Americans in their language, Black Americans wouldn't show up and nobody else would show up to watch. Because you don't understand what they're talking about. Unless you speak the language or you want to get it translated, but we don't even care that much. I mean, do you, bruh? We ain't tripping on you like that. But don't lie, because that's a lie. The Black Americans aren't doing that. Now, there may be some Black Americans out there that may be like, man, what you talking about? I don't understand you. They got something, but let me tell you something. That's an American thing, not a Black American thing. And I will tell you, Black people are way more tolerant of people with a different language than white people. White folks can't stand somebody talking with a different language around them, and for surely they don't like the accent. They don't like that. When I mention it's an American thing, because unfortunately, because of that big ocean that we have, we're not exposed to a lot of people. Versus, let's say on the other side of the world, y'all exposed to a whole lot of people, whole lot of languages and everything else. So because of we kind of isolated a little bit, in my opinion, that's why a lot of Americans don't do well with accents and languages and things like that. It's just the way people are cultured here. But some things are just American culture, and some things are just, but putting it all on Black America. Oh, they smiling. I'm like, no, you can't tell me every white person was smiling in your face when you showed up. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. But the fact is, y'all want to come, some of y'all, some, not all. Listen. Some of y'all want to come over here and be a little Uncle Ruckus and thinking that's going to work. Well, ask some people in the Latino community right now about being a T.O. Ruckus and find out. Ask them. Ask them about that, how that don't work in the end. And we want Latinos. Hey, don't be joining with them people. Them people do not like y'all. They using y'all. They don't like you. Oh, okay. And then in the end, what Latinos found out and ended up saying, hey, Black people was right the whole time. We right about everything. We warn everybody about it. We warn every immigrant about these people. And y'all don't listen till you learn the hard way. And now instead of worrying about Black Americans, instead of worrying about Black Americans and lying, because you are lying, because not every Black American is treating you that way. You need to be worrying about making sure you good so ICE don't pick you up. I'm telling every immigrant that. You need to be worrying about your status or your family status right now. Leave Black Americans alone. Like, don't, because some Black Americans, listen, I'm not that kind of Black American, okay? But there's some Black Americans that be trying to call in on y'all. You know what I'm saying? So don't poke the bear, because that's what y'all like to do. Y'all like to keep poking the bear. Like, if poking a bear is let me give you an example. It's like you got warrants and you're going to speed past a cop. Why would you do that? Knowing you got warrants, you probably need to drive the speed limit so the cop won't go pull you over. But that's what a lot of you do. You got warrants and you're speeding past the cop full speed. And then when the cop gets you, you want to cry. Like, you knew you had warrants. Why are you speeding past the cop? Don't entice him to come pull you over. And that's what some of you do. Some of your status is not right. And you keep on poking at people to piss them off, and then they want to call in on you. Don't do that. That's dumb. I don't understand that logic. I don't. But anyway, gentlemen, stop lying on us, gentlemen. Don't do that. You're doing that for content, and that don't work out well for you. When you listen, let me give you a secret, gentlemen. I've been doing content for about 13 years now, a good 13 years. And I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to lie on people at all to make good content. Just stay in the truth. That's it. Just stay in the truth. And I'm not saying that some Black Americans may not, maybe clown you a little bit about your accent. I'm not saying that didn't happen. But doing content, you know that maybe you got to keep certain words, some. You can't say all. It's never all of any group of people, of whatever it may be, right? You can't say all white people are anti-black. That's not true. That is not true. I would never say no crap like that. That's why I'd rather say white supremacist. You know what I'm saying? You can't say all Latinos don't like black people. That is not true. Not at all. There may be some that don't like black people, and maybe some Asians don't like black people. There's a whole lot of people throughout the earth don't like black people. But there's a lot of Asians and Hispanics and Arabs and everybody else that's cool with us. And so you don't ever say all about any group of people, because that shows how ignorant you are. But y'all don't have to, what they call that, engagement farming. Y'all ain't got to do that, bro. Y'all ain't got to do that. Find something good to talk about in your homeland. Trust me, it's a lot. Like, I see so much opportunity to talk about things that come from your homeland, and I don't even live there. You understand? I don't even live there. I have a whole show, based on things that go on in the homeland called, in the African continent, called Slave Queen. And it's not even disrespecting the Slave Queens either. We actually respecting them and giving them a platform to share their life story. I think it's what they doing is an interesting thing, right? See, I didn't have to disrespect the Slave Queens to even do that show. There's no reason to disrespect them. There's plenty of things you could be talking about that's in your community. You just don't do it. So I think talking about Black Americans trying to engagement farm is lazy. It's actually really lazy, to be honest with you. And that's what it is. And then, like I said, Black Americans get on your bumper, then you want to say they xenophobic. Oh, they hate us. Like, look at what you're doing. You make a content like this, and then Black Americans respond, then you want to say they being xenophobic. No. People have a right to defend themselves. I'm not saying defend yourself, and some people may not be like me. I'm going to handle it one way. Some people going to take it to another level that I don't take it to. So I just want to make sure on this microphone that I don't bring that element in or invite that element into what I got going on. But what I'm saying, in the future, if you're going to have these microphones, be responsible. Because if Black Americans start clapping back at you, then y'all want to cry. That's just really what I see.